From today onwards, I'm going to start a series where I'm going to explain a game move by move. I will not go very deep into the lines. I will just explain that why that move was made and what was the plan behind it. Okay, this game was played between Pillsbury and Tarash in Hastings 1895. This is also considered to be the first immortal game. Let's start d4, d5, the Queen's Gambit, c4 now started, c4 the Queen's Gambit, e6, the point of sustaining this pawn over here, that if he takes with the if he takes, for example, with c4, he is going to take with the e6 pawn, knight c3 developing a knight, knight f6 developing a piece, bishop g5. This was actually Pillsbury who first demonstrated the strength of this move to bishop to g5, which actually today is a routine over here. So bishop e7 by black. If white takes the knight, he is going to take with the bishop. Knight f3 by white. There is another continuation which can be go like this. Knight is moved, for example, over here. Uh, knight to d7. Then rook c1. This may be another continuation. So knight f3 by white and castle by black. e3 by white. Now this bishop over here is out of the pawn chain. You can easily develop this pawn to over here on e3. Now p6 by black. In order to develop queen's bishop on e7, in old times, it was actually to the routine to move the pawn to b6 and then develop the bishop to b7 at that time of. So here the first move is c to d5. Actually, the point of this move that I remember that I told in some other video also, that whenever black plays the move to this b6, then it is white who is going to immediately capture the pawn over here, depriving black of the opportunity to play c into b, sorry, c into b6 himself. Sorry, d into c4 himself. So black took it by e into d5. The classical continuation, more common nowadays, is knight into d5. After which some exchanges are carried on, like bishop into e7, queen into e7, knight into d5, e into d5, and then this bishop can move over here. Black is going to play the move c5 and going to develop his knight like this. This is one of the sequence of the plans which black can continue with. So in the game, bishop d3 was played, developing the bishop and going for the castle. Bishop b7 by black, white castles, now c5. It is actually a strategic idea. Otherwise, this pawn will remain backward. And black gets the problem afterwards if he does not play the move. If he plays something else like knight to d7 and delay the movement of this pawn to c5, and after some time, after rook to c1, queen to c2, this pawn becomes a target of uh, white's continuation. So that's why black plays the move. Black plays the move c5 immediately. So Rook e1 by white. Actually, here it is not confirmed that what is the logic of this move, rook to e1, because in the future of the game, this rook was going to move back to f1. After that, c4 was played. Actually, this move releases the tension in the center. Nowadays, the roundabout grandmasters usually say that keep the tension in the center. But the point of releasing this tension in the center was that black is planning to play the move a6, then b5, and then b4, and will try to create a passed pawn out of these his three pawns. This is the point of playing this move c4. So bishop b1 by white and a6 by black. And black is going with his plan that he's going to play the move b5 and b4, and then trying to create a passed pawn over here. And now white is going to play in the center, and he might be going for the assault on the king side, and black would be playing on the queen side. Knight e5 by white. The concept of this move, knight e5, is that it is now controlling these critical squares and threatening this f7 pawn. And this move is a very good one actually. b5 by black, he is going with his plan. Now f4. The point of playing the move f4 over here, this move further white's attack in several ways. Black can counter it by whether playing the move over here knight f2 d7, or he can counter it by playing the move over here knight b to d7. And he's going to expand still with his plan. So black plays the move rook e8. The point of this rook e8 move is that black is trying to play the move knight bd7 and then knight d7 to f8 to protect these pairs. If white just builds a very pressure over here by going for assault on the king side. Queen of this queen f3 move is that he is bringing the queen to the king side of the black to attack. So knight e4 by black, and actually this is a very beautiful move. Black blocks the white king bishop diagonal over here. In return, he is going to give uh, black would white would be unable to take this pawn over here. Um, in this position, each exchange favors black. Queen side attacks, by contrast, for example, black go over here. Now, black would have the opportunity to move these pawns faster if these exchanges occurs in the center. So white first goes for bishop into e7, as black was threatening to win a piece by playing the move in this position over here f6. So after that, rook into e7. Now bishop into e4. White was actually in this position is not happy to give up the king bishop. But there is no way to drive knight, black's knight from this square. As long as as long as this knight remains over here, it's controlling a lot of things in white's territory and also doing a very defensive job. That's why white took it out by playing the move bishop into e4. After that, d into e4. Now queen g3. If you pause the video and think that what is happening in this position, you will understand that it is not only black who has gained many things for white in this position, it is white also. His knight is very well placed. This knight can be maneuvered like this by playing the move f5. Then this knight would come over here to f4. These are at very good positions. They would be placed at very good positions. Whereas black is going to play the move knight bd7 and try to exchange this knight over here. If this knight over here is exchanged, then white can play the move rook f1 after taking this pawn, and this file will be opened for white rook. So f6 was played by black. This move actually slightly weakens the blacking side, but instead of going for this move, now white can't take control of this very juicy square, very important square e5 in black's territory. So knight g4 was played by white, and now white is threatening to play the move knight f6 check. So that's why king to h8 first, then f5. The point of f5 is that now these pawns are stuck. Black and can't play this move without any support, this g6 move. And this knight is going to maneuver over here. This rook is going to move to f1. This queen might be moved to h3 or h4. This was the concept behind playing the move f5 in this. So queen d7 by black. Now rook f1. Now you see that in the first phase of the game, I said that I don't understand the reason that why white played the move rook e1, that because he was coming back over here on rook f1. So queen d6 by black, it is in black's favor to exchange the queens. Queen h4 by white, and now bishop d5. The point of bringing this bishop over here to d5 is that black is trying to protect this pawn in this way by playing the move bishop to g8. Now knight f2 by white. The point of bringing the knight first to f2 is that he is going to play the move knight h3, then he can maneuver over here. And he is preparing to take this bishop out. This is the concept. Queen c6 by black. Now white should be very careful by removing the pieces from his king side, because now black is going to play the move like b4, then he is going to advance the pawn over here, and white's attack would not be so fast enough. So that's why black played the move first b4, a very beautiful move. If now, for example, black tries to play the move like this, c into b3, now white first takes the bishop, after queen takes the knight, now he can just immediately whelps his rook first. And this back rank is weak. This might be one of the sequence of the move. So in the position, knight d7 was played by black after b4. The point of the move knight d7 is that now Black is bringing this knight over here to f8, and it would be protecting this pawn over here. And then he is going to play the moves like a5, challenging this pawn over here. And then he may go, after moving his knight to knight f8, then he can double his rook over here on a5. For example, in this position, if kings move over here, then what? The move is, sorry, king g8 is also another choice. If bishop b7 by black, protecting the bishop, then the move is immediately a4, challenging this side of the pawns. Now, if black plays the move knight d7, now the move is a into b5. After a into b5, now rook into 8 check, queen into rook check, sorry, queen into 8. Now the move is queen f4. And now you see that this queen is coming on this, and it is threatening a lot, and white is better in this position. So after knight d7, sorry, after knight d7, h3 was played by white first, making room actually for the knight on h2. The point of that in this way might be black played the move e5 in this position. He is going with his plan. In this position, white's attack look very weak. Sorry, very slow instead of black's attack. But white had prepared a very beautiful move in this position. I want you people to pause the video and think that what was the move, and it is a very tremendous move. That's why it is called an immortal game. I hope you have understood. And back, white played the move e4. The point is that if you take this pawn over here, now the move is a into b5. Sorry, a into b5. Now your queen is threatened, your rook is threatened, and the only move black can go with is queen b7. And now rook into rook check, queen into a8, and now knight into d5 first. After queen into d5, now queen g3. So white played a very beautiful move e4 in this position. So black countered it with a very beautiful move, and that was g5. The reason is that if f into g6 in this way, now b into a sorry b into a4 first, as this pawn is protected by this rook over here. b5 has to be played by white, and now queen e6, and black is threatening a lot over here. His rook is active, his knight is coming over here, going to pick up this pawn, and black's defense would be completely solid after that word. This pawn is going to fall, and this pawn is going to move forward. So I am going to white played the move rook a3, in this position. The point of rook a3 in this position is that whether black can take this queen, sorry, after g5, now black played the move in this position. Actually, I think the game notation has been changed by me mistakenly. Queen into h7, no, just a moment. I think the notation has been mistakenly changed by me of the game. After g5, rook a3 by white. Uh, but in this position, black is completely winning. Let me see what happens. Rook g7. Yes. White played the move rook a3 in this position, and he actually black can if take the queen over here, then g into h4. Queen is threatened. Queen has to move. Queen d6. Now rook f a1. Rook to g8. Now b into a5. Even white has lost the queen, but these two pawns will be doing a lot in this position. That was the concept, playing rook a3 and giving up the actually queen over here. Black played the move in this position, rook g7. Now the move is queen g3 by white, and here in this position actually black resigned the game. I think these last 3 to 4 moves in the database have been misinterpreted. I will check it out. Till present, the moves are equal. From here, actually, I think the problem is with the moves. A into b4, A into b5. No, rook a3 move. Actually, as this move is wrongly inserted in the database, because here black can take this queen with just for white is giving up the queen for nothing in this position. Okay, you may check this move further yourself. Just check this game. I would also check this game uh, once again, that what is the actually correct notation. The last two moves. Till here the game is equal. Sorry, till here the game is equal. From over here, I think white might have played the move queen to g4. This is the best continuation. I think he has gone for this. And yes, this is the move. Now I found out. Yes, this is the move. White went out for queen g4. Now a into b4. B into a4. Now d5. Queen b7. I still have, I think the notation is wrong. Now white played the move rook into a4. Okay, actually the concept of the opening and the middle game you have understood. Uh, I will remake the video on this topic, on this game again. I think the notation in the database there is a problem with the notation in the database. So if you enjoyed my video, uh, I know that I'm just skipping the last actually, but there has become some notation. I checked this game till the middle game, and then I started actually making video on it. I did not check the actually last 2 or 3 moves. That's why I missed that wrong move orders, wrong move notation by mistakenly placed in the database. So if you like it, kindly subscribe and hit the bell icon button. Thank you very much.